Coming up on the Get Loud podcast, special guest, Ryan McGee, ESPN senior writer, also co-host of the Marty McGee podcast on SEC Network. And, man, we got a lot of stuff.
Hey, we're going to be chilling over yonder. We might be talking to y'all. Who knows?
Ooh. How you doing, guys? It is the Get Loud podcast presented by SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Smooth cheeks!
Yes.
Smooth! Call us. Let us know what you think. Get in the comments as well. We got the house phone.
Yep. We do. We do. In 2024, we do have a house phone. We want you to leave messages on it. If it's something funny, please say it. If it's, whatever you want to say about the show, it's fine.
You need to vent? You having a tough day? Let us know.
Yeah, just call us. You know what, Fred and Jinx, man, my wife is just, she's just been at me. Just let us know what's going on.
703-726-7419, 703-726-7419. We're going to get into some football stuff.
Yeah,
and
please.
We're going to talk with Ryan McGee from Marty and McGee on the SEC
Ryan.
Network.
He's such a good dude.
He's such a good dude.
SEC royalty.
We're going to talk SEC. We're going to talk a little bit of everything with football season on the way.
Yep.
But since it is the offseason, we won't spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
But Travis Kelce showed up at Taylor Swift's concert in Europe. I learned about this about 15 minutes ago. You saw the performance. What did you think?
First of all, she's such a professional because she swallowed a European grasshopper, I think.
Oh.
She swallowed a bug. I'm shocked this ain't the first time this happened. I'm sure it happened to singers before, but this is the first time somebody reported that while she was singing a song, a bug flew in her mouth, so she had to stop for a second, spit the bug out, and like I said, the bug was European. All right? So, I was like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. I was like, why hasn't that happened before? Mm-hmm. I'm sure a lot of singers have swallowed bugs. So I didn't even take the Travis Kelce part out of it. I was like, yeah, Taylor swallowed a bug. That's very human. I wanted it Michael Jackson or Prince swallow a bug.
Oh. What's the worst performance you've ever seen in a concert?
The worst performance I've ever seen at a concert.
Could be one song, but someone just did not do it right.
This was not at a concert, and I just hope I don't get struck down. I was at church.
Okay.
And
okay.
And this lady got up.
Uh-oh.
And she was like, praise the Lord. And she wanted to talk. Then she just started singing. This little light of mine. And I'm not the type of person that can hold things in. And she just butchered it. I'm talking. And all you can hear in the back, everybody's quiet, trying to show respect, and you just hear me, I just can't hold it. Because I'm like, somebody
You're laughing out loud?
Lord, tell her to stop singing. That's what you want to do. What about you?
I saw Casey and JoJo open up one time. Let me tell you something. First of all, these cats are so out of it.
Hey, first of all, they got a concert up here. You know that, right?
It's coming soon?
MGM.
They are?
Yes.
These guys came out, and these suits had to be Velcro. Because I think it was Casey that did this, and immediately that suit went, and it just came off, and they were half naked.
Yeah.
And these are brothers, as we know, right?
Yes, we do know
and
that.
so, at the end, they're singing All My Life, right? That's their banger.
Because you got to hold them notes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. So this is, their hit song outside of Jodeci.
Yeah.
And so they turn to each other, and Casey's like, all my life, wait for someone like you. Looks at his brother. They start holding hands, and then the hug in the middle of the stage, and everybody's like, it's still Casey.
Don't worry about that bad performance.
That's all right, boys.
Hey,
It's all
guess
right.
what? You came to a Washington game, Smoot. Don't worry about that bad performance you just had out there against T.O.
We were looking at each other like, what are you going to do? Still Casey and JoJo.
It's still what it is. It happens to the best of them.
Oh, it was so funny, man.
It happens to the best of them, man.
It does. So, again, we're talking NFL offseason. Some of the things that we've seen in the headlines, and something we have seen, they weren't naked like Casey and JoJo were, but Joe Burrow and Justin Jefferson had on some interesting clothes at the Vogue fashion show. Did you see these? It's like they were wearing pajamas.
Joe Burrow looks like the dude on the front of every magazine at the grocery store.
He's a good-looking dude.
When I say
he just got the look.
The Brad Pitt jawline. When he gets up and throws his hair. Some guys just got this inner swag that you cannot run from. So at the end of the day, I'm never mad when guys show their swag through their fashion. Right, because fashion what makes us different.
That's true.
It can make the same person feel different, look different. So, no, I love Joe Burrow's swag. I love Justin Jefferson. These guys went to college together. They won't stop being friends.
That's true.
In the NFL. Like I tell people, we don't stop being friends because we play for a different team. We're still friends, and we're still going through this thing together.
And aren't you more bonded than you are? Not necessarily NFL, but you're growing together, which is a huge part of why you're always going to have that bond.
And nobody actually understands what you're going through mentally, personally, and everyday day-to life like a person that's going through the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why we tend to gravitate towards, and you ask any ex-player, man, what you miss about the league? First thing come out there, always the locker room. Because them guys understand you on a level your wife might not even understand you.
No, I get that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, when you think about, I remember when you played, you weren't someone who, you weren't outlandish with the way that you dressed.
I'm very conservative, kind of. Like,
You're always put together, though.
I'm always put together, but I'm always one of them guys. I think the man makes the clothes.
Yes.
Not the clothes make the man. So I feel like I could wear the same outfit somebody else wearing. I could wear it better.
Yeah.
The swag is just there. You can't hide swag. They're like they say you can't hide money. You can't hide swag. So I was one of them people. I always make, but I did have the Joe Namath fur coat.
I was just gonna. He was the original, right?
Nah, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Willie Namath
on the sidelines wearing it.
First of all, Joe Willie walked so I could run. Do you not understand that? So he was the first swagged out dude.
Oh, yeah.
He was the first athlete that was like, you know what? I'm finna party all night long. All right? And I'll see you in the morning for the game.
So when you played, I think a recent example, Cam Newton's probably, I know he's out of the league now, but he was always dressed in something kind of funky.
Yeah.
When you played, was there someone, or even now recently, who whenever they show up, you're like, man, that guy's always on point?
Well, I used to give out this award, right?
Okay.
And players used to come. Like every away games, we had to wear suits, all right? And I used to give out this award called the Dead Man Suit Award. And I used to get this out because I used to tell the player, just because you got money don't mean you got style.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
So I used to tell them, I'm going to give an award out every week to the terrorist suit game on the team. I'd be like, yeah, you done dug somebody up out of their casket and stole their suit. And guys used to come to my locker before we travel and be like, hey, man, what this suit look like? So I can tell them, so I can give them a yay or a nay.
Okay.
So guys walk through. Now, my boy Dre Carter, I love Dre. That's my dude. Okay. He has a funeral home full of dead men suit. And you know, they cut the back out of dead man suit. They don't even have the back in it. Dre Carter. Oh, I got to get this with Clint Portis, too.
Oh, CP?
CP the type guy walk in a store, and he won't get it because he think it looks good. He'll get it because he think nobody else will get it.
Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He would wear the stuff that none of us even dare wear. All right? Like, meaning, I'm not wearing that. Like, he would wear it. And I'll never forget this. I was giving out the Dead Man Suit Award. And Lavernius Coles walked through the door.
Okay.
And he has on a full sensei suit. No, a karate suit.
A real sensei suit?
He got on the shoes. We were like, are we missing something? He's like, nah, man, it's fresh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not.
No, it's not. That's a sensei suit.
Like, I'm the voice of reasoning.
Yes.
Like, I always try to be the voice of reasoning. But no, it has been some ugly suit game on this team.
Yeah.
All right, on this team. I can't speak for other locker room.
Yeah.
And I went to Minnesota for 2 years. There was some terrible suits up there, too.
Yeah.
Just because your man has money does not give him style.
Lavernius, why are you wearing a hazmat suit?
Yeah, what's going on? Like, I thought he was a superhero. This is not Halloween, dude. What you doing?
Can I talk to you about recycle track systems for a second?
You can.
Transforming the way commercial businesses and communities manage waste and recycling, combining the power of AI with premium customer service to optimize waste pickup schedules, ensuring timely and efficient collections to keep our neighborhoods cleaner and
greener.
Visit RTS.com to learn more about how they can help your business manage waste more responsibly. So, guys that have swag,
yeah,
generally receivers, they like to swag it up.
They always do. There's just something about those dudes.
And then tight ends are known as more of the gritty, blue collar, right? Lunch pail, hard hat kind of guys. So A.J. Brown tweeted a few days ago, tight ends are always having meetups, right?
Yeah.
They have a tight end universe. These guys are all together. Yeah. Why is it
Yeah.
Wide receivers can't do this. Are they too diva-esque? Are they too pretty? What is it about a receiver?
You just said it. DBs, we mount up and say, you know what? We got to stop the evil empire called wide receivers. Let's share our tricks to the trade. Tight ends get together and say, you know what? We need to get paid more money. Let's sharpen our skills together. Pass rush will be like, you know what? We want all y'all to get paid. Let's share.
Yeah.
Not wide receivers. They're not sharing anything. They all want to be that one dude. They all want to be the dude. It's like trying to start a R&B group.
Okay.
With 5 Beyoncés.
Oh, you can't?
You can't. Like somebody has. It's like being a Jackson 5 and it's 5 Michaels. Like, it's not going to work.
Right.
It's just not.
Tito's like, I want to sing. Tito,
Yeah.
go back there and play the bass.
Like, we can walk past Tito and Wegmans right now and wouldn't know who Tito was. Like, the thing about it is the wide receivers, like they say, it's like being the king of restauros. It can only be one.
Yes.
It can only be one. And I don't see a time where they all will ever get together.
I don't either.
No, who starts the line off? Like, it's a little small thing that they just won't agree with, that we agree with. Like, if we all DBs out together and we like, all right, yeah, let's start.
Right.
There's like 20 of us. We don't care who starts the line.
Right.
Let's just start the line. I know for a fact the wide receivers won't get anything done because whoever going to be first in that line decides everything.
Oh, those guys, if you're a tight end, to be like, go ahead, man. I want to learn from you. I want to watch you.
Yeah, I'm watching Kelsey.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs would be like, y'all just get behind me. And Justin Jefferson would be like, hey, everyone get behind me. And just be like,
Jamar Chase would be like, why should I get behind you?
I'm not get behind anybody.
No. So there go your conversation right there. This how it starts. This how it ends. This where it's at. You can't see Stephon Diggs. They be like, Stephon, why ain't you running a route? Because I don't want you to see how I run it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to run it like that.
It's true, though.
That's them. That's who they are. All I'm saying is this.
Okay.
If you've ever went shopping with a wide receiver, you know it. That they're divas.
Oh.
Hey, if you ever go shopping with them. Now you can meet your blue-collar guys like your Terry McLaurin's, your Santana Moss, who kind of they kind of got their own little line, your James Thrashes of the world.
Yeah.
These guys don't care about all that other stuff. And that's why Tanner say, in Miami, him, Andre Johnson, all those guys, they met back up and they worked out all the time.
Yeah.
They don't have any egos.
Yeah. But
wide receivers are ego-driven. Think about it. What other position on the field makes a touchdown and pulls a Sharpie out their sock?
Also true.
Who sets a cell phone under the goalpost just in case I get to the end zone?
Man.
Just receivers.
Right.
Who is selling themselves more than any position?
Receiver.
Like one-on-one.
Right.
Receiver. So at the end of the day, they cannot share because they only child mentality.
And if they don't get enough touches,
then somebody got to pay the piper.
Exactly.
Then somebody got to pay the
Unhappy.
piper. They going to nag. You ain't never see me over there. I ain't got enough picks. Like, you don't, like, no, it'll happen. It'll come to you. But no, I don't ever see them getting together.
No.
I don't see them
I don't
getting
either.
together.
It's a nice thought, but it's just not going to
They're not going to get together. I'm sorry. They're just like us waiting on the NSYNC to get back together. It's just not going to happen.
Let's pay some bills, and then we're going to talk with Ryan McGee. We're going to talk about his thoughts on Jayden Daniels because he covered him at LSU.
Yeah, he did.
Talk some SEC football, so I can't wait to talk to him.
I can't wait either. You know, the Get Loud podcast is brought to you by Bet365, the official sporting bet partner of the Washington Commanders. Bet on a range of NFL markets with Bet365 app. Craft your own personalized bet slip with parlays. Access thousands of games with live streaming. Place your bet before the match or during the game. It's up to you. Download the Bet365 app today and join 80 million members worldwide. Age 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Virginia. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. MWAA. We don't travel so escape life. We travel so life don't escape us. We dream of any place in the world. In a blink of an eye, we're there. That's the wonder of flight. All you have to do is decide where to. Dulles International Airport. Let your imagination soar. Book your adventure today at flydulles.com/nonstop. Maybe you see me there because I'm going on vacation soon. Oh. Yes, I am. And you know I like to road trip.
Oh, I know you do.
Before I go like overseas somewhere, I like to just take a good old American drive, and I stop at any city along the way.
Just drop in?
Just drop in and take a night, take on the city.
Love that.
Get back up, get some coffee. To the next city.
And do it again.
And do it again, baby.
Give us a call. Do it for us. Do it for Anna.
Yeah.
She needs somebody to call.
Yeah, she needs some. Just leave us something.
703-726-7419, 703-726-7419. So,
And when you call that number, say, I am Mitchell from Mitchellville, and I got loud. That's what I want you to do.
I like that.
Yeah, I want to do it.
Well, we're going to go back out to the phone lines.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to go to the video lines and bring in Ryan McGee of Marty McGee and the SEC Network.
We all understand each other, Southerners.
Let's get down to it because now we got football season coming up. Training camp starts in
Yeah.
around a month. There may be a little over a month. We got college football as well. So we have a lot to talk about with Ryan McGee from the SEC Network's Marty McGee, ESPN senior writer. He does a little bit of everything.
Yes.
Knows a lot about a lot. So, Ryan, thanks for being with us. And let's start in the SEC, particularly with a certain quarterback here
Yes.
in D.C., and Jayden Daniels, who obviously played at LSU, Heisman Trophy winner. But what did you see in your time covering him in the SEC that you think will make him a good pro?
So you guys know there's guys with swagger, right?
Yep.
And there's guys who can play. And a lot of times the guys with the swagger aren't necessarily the guys who can play, you know, but he's both. And, you know, it's interesting because the way he carries himself is as someone who's been there before. But what you don't see behind the scenes is how hard he works. You know, I've known Brian Kelly a long time. Of course, the head coach at LSU, was at Notre Dame forever. And what BK talks about all the time is, you know, the quarterback you want is when everybody shows up to watch film, he's already been there for 2 hours. And when everybody's done working out and they're going out to eat, where's Jayden? He's working out still, you know, and so he's that guy. And if you look at the numbers and you look and see him going from 17 to 40 touchdowns or whatever from year to year, and it's not just that, but it's the subtle stuff that I don't know if casual football fans get, was just, you know, layering, right? And the numbers of the throwing the ball, you know, 15 to 20, 20 to 25. It's just, he's just smart. And oh, by the way, he's really big and can run. So I just, what I like about him is, but it's also respectful, you know, as an older member of the media now, when I talk to these guys, I like to see how they operate in a room, particularly when they get into a room with, you know, legends from your school at LSU or arriving for camp and you're dealing with NFL veterans. You know, how do you handle them when you get in the room? So you come in letting them know, I think I could be the guy, but you're also respectful of who they are. So it's a really long way of saying I like him. He's one of my favorite players I've ever covered, and I'm rooting for him. Quite frankly, I am.
All right, I'm gonna need you to play devil's advocate right here now. Everybody like to ask about the good things. Tell me some things that you saw him in school that you say, you know what, I think you need to polish this up on the next level or get better at that.
Yeah, well, to me, there were times where he would say something like declaring, "I'm going to win. I think I'm going to win the Heisman Trophy." That didn't happen a lot, you know. Yeah. And there are times where you kind of catch your breath, like, "All right, now, great," but then you back it up. It's hard for me to be mad at you, but to me, it's understanding with that swagger. It's understanding when it's time to check it and when it's not. And there were a couple moments where you felt like he's towing the line, but then he would reel it back in. So, you know, I'd love to give you some big long list of, I heard he goes out all the time, or you know, whatever. I don't have that, and it's, to me, that's the best compliment I can give a kid.
I was say that says everything right there. Yeah,
right. So I believe
they can find stuff on me, by the way. So that's why I know.
Well, you know, young Fred Smoot used to run through the SEC, so then you know they can find things on me.
Yeah, I've heard the stories.
So you're a Vol, correct?
I am, yes.
Okay, so you're a Vol. Fred went to Mississippi State. I went to Texas. So this is a new era for the SEC coming up in the fall.
Yeah.
This is sort of a macro view, but how do you see things shaking out? Because, man, this conference is going to be just unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's a crazy time. You know, divisions are going away, which I have mixed feelings about. You know, as I want them to make sure they still protect the rivalries, right? I mean, it's a Tennessee alum. I want to make sure that the third Saturday in October remains that, you know, that everybody's playing who they've always played. But it's going to be a wild year because, listen, Georgia's reloaded. They're mad. You know, the reality is they came within an eyelash of making the college football playoff again last year. They're angry that they did not. They still think they should have been in it. They're loaded. Alabama's going through – we have now entered the post-Nick Saban era. And everyone has been talking Right, for 15 years. Everybody's like, well, what's life going to be like once that guy freaking retires? Well, now he's retired. And so I love Kalen DeBoer, who came from Washington, but they're going to be through a transition. So you can feel everyone thinking, all right, now we got to take care of business. And oh, by the way, Oklahoma and Texas are playing in the conference now. So it's a wild time. But the reality is Georgia's better. We'll see what they do with that. Better than everyone in the conference. But that race for number 2 is wide open.
Speaking of the race of number 2, everybody high on Texas, and I know Jinx is high on his Texas Longhorns. How do you think the transition for Texas and Oklahoma, because this is in between the Big 12, where you playing, you might have the Red River Shootout, but then you got 3 or 4 games where you can kind of take the week off. Right. How do you think they would fare in the SEC week in and week out?
Well, that's it. I mean, that's everything. I grew up 30 years ago, right? I grew up in North Carolina, grew up on Tobacco Road. I'm watching NC State, North Carolina, and good but not great programs. Then I went to Tennessee. Mississippi State came in my freshman year, and I remember calling home and going, they treated this like the Orange Bowl. Like, these guys are freaking out. Like, this is Mississippi State, but this is what the conference is, right? And there are no weekends off. There aren't, and I think going forward in this expanded playoff era, there's even fewer weekends off. You're not going to be able to schedule homecoming like you used to, right? You're not going to be able to go get an FCS school and do whatever. So it's going to be interesting. I believe, and I'm not saying this just to make anybody mad, I think Oklahoma is kind of the secret deal in this, because everyone's talking about Texas and everyone's obsessed with Texas, and everyone, Texas is just in the playoff, all those things. But Norman is one of my favorite places to go to a college football game. I was on Baker Mayfield watch. I was there all the time when Baker was there. And so I think that no one's talking enough about the fact that going to games at Norman is awesome, and the Red River rivalry being a part of the conference. But Texas's problem is going to be they've always been the big dog in the room.
Yep.
When it comes to meetings, right,
yep,
and decisions. When they walk into the room and Alabama's sitting there, and Georgia's sitting there, and Tennessee's sitting there, and Texas A&M is sitting there, they're not going to care what Texas has to say. They'll listen to them, but it's not. They don't have 5 more votes than everyone else. So that USC going to the Big Ten, how are they going to sit in the room and Michigan, Ohio State are going to be like, okay, welcome. We don't really care what you want to do right now because we're Michigan, Ohio State. That's the part of all this that I can't wait to see.
Well, as part of the college football conversation, we've heard the NCAA toss out the idea that walk-ons maybe should be eliminated from college football, partially because of NIL, which I think would just destroy part of the fabric of the game. Am I off here?
Yeah.
It's a weird time right now. And what I say all the time is I love Saturday football. I love Sunday football. But I like the fact that the NFL looks like the NFL and that college football looks like college football. And when you start, like, college football is going to have a 2-minute warning, right? They've already changed the way they stop the clock, on first downs. They're getting the mics in the helmets. It's just subtle stuff. Expanded playoffs. Season's going to start in August. It's going to end at the end of January. Why are you trying to look like the NFL? The NFL is awesome, but let them be them and let college be college. And so those are the things like what you're talking about that I worry. As long as the games feel the same on Saturday, they'll be okay. But the more you tweak it and the more you tweak it and the more you tweak it and make it feel like the NFL, because it's free agency now, right? I mean, and we're going to perhaps one day an NFC, AFC type situation. Why? You're unique, so stay unique. The NFL is unique. The NFL didn't change anything to be like college. They've had a lot of chances over the years. They won't do it. So because they want to be them. So that I want to make sure that the games stay unique because that's why we love them.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that one because as a guy that was in that college locker room, we watch those guys that walk on, and we get a passion for them. Like it's like we don't get Santana Moss in the NFL, Rudy Rudinger. We don't get these guys without being able to walk on. So I think it's the heartbeat. Like it's. Like everybody wants to be the star of a college team, but to say you was a part of a team to me is everything. Now, it don't matter how many games we won, but to be a teammate with some of them guys, I think that's the fabric of college football.
Yeah, and you guys know how valuable they are. I mean, the scout team, man, and the scout team, most of those, half of those guys are walk-ons, and so it's and they work so hard. to learn the offense and to learn the defense of the opponent that's coming up. When I was a student at Tennessee, a million years ago, I worked for the football team in the video office. And so I would come in for 2-a-days in August, and they would just put us in the dorm, and I would room with walk-ons. And I can tell you those guys were working harder than anybody else. But Baker Mayfield, who I just mentioned, was walk-on a couple times. And imagine college football, imagine the NFL without Baker Mayfield. And if you don't give him the opportunity to get in the car with his mom and drive to Lubbock and try to walk on because no one else would give him a chance, well, then I just taking away those stories. I mean, Brian Bolesworth at Arkansas, you mentioned Rudy. I know Notre Dame fans get divided about Rudy. I spent a whole day with Rudy one time in Las Vegas. I can't imagine being a football fan and not knowing who Rudy Rudiger was. So it just, again, if you start messing with the fabric of the game, and to me, red shirt, how great are those videos that we all love of the red shirt guys getting their scholarship because they earned it. I can't imagine not having that. I just think that's dumb.
Yep.
Ryan, I saw you on Pat McAfee just a few days ago, and they asked you to throw a football, hit the target so that some fans would win $500, and with all of that pressure on, you absolutely nailed it. So tell us about that experience.
Yeah, you just it was like if you've seen the movie Old School when Frank the Tank blacks out during the debate. That's how it was. But I had no idea that was coming. So the Thunderdome is a church. It's an old church in the suburbs of Indianapolis, and it was the church they weren't using anymore. So Pat bought it, turned it. But that place is big. Like that's a big floor. But yeah, they were making fun of me. I took like 3 steps. And I'm left-handed, and they started calling me Steve Young and all that stuff. But but I'm retired, by the way. I nailed it. I mean, air mailed it. In cornhole we call it air mail. I air mailed it. Went right in, and I was like, I told Pat, I'm never doing that again. I don't care if you ever have me back. I ain't doing it. I'm 1 for 1, and I'm retiring. I'm retiring with my gold medal.
By the way, how fun is it to just be around Pat? I got a chance to play against Pat while I was in the NFL. And, kickers don't usually have the most upbeat personalities and punters. No. How fun is Pat McAfee? I love his energy. I always have. How about yourself?
Yeah, and listen, all kickers from a different planet. We can all agree on that, right? And they own that. I mean, we had a guy at Tennessee when I was there named John Bexford. Never missed an extra point. Prettiest extra points you ever saw. John had snakes. In his apartment, like they're just different dudes, right? But he's the best. The big thing was I was there. I was in Indianapolis to cover the Indianapolis 500, which I cover motorsports, and so I'm at the racetrack. I drive up to do the show, and those guys are the best. I went to the Pacers Celtics playoff game with them the next night, and it was they treated me right, and it was but they're uniquely them. But yeah, Pat is all kickers are weird. But Pat has taken it to a much higher, more entertaining level.
Now, speaking of the Indy 500, I'm a big Gibbs racing guy. I'm a big Joe Gibbs guy.
Do know that.
Most definitely. Could you tell us what you saw at the Indy 500? How was it? And most people don't know. I have been in pit row because of Coach Gibbs. It's loud. It's thunderous. And that pit crew, they are athletes. I'm sorry. They are.
No. And they are, and that's changed a lot, at Indy. And then, so I did the double that day. I was with the race car driver, Kyle Larson, who did the Indy 500, and then he did the Coca-Cola 600 down in Charlotte, and in the same day, tried to. And, but yeah, one of the biggest changes when it comes to NASCAR, IndyCar, any of it, since I started covering it, 25 years ago, is that it used to be the guys who worked in the shop, the mechanics, would also pit the car on the weekends. Mm-hmm. And I remember Dale Jarrett, who drove for Joe Gibbs, had a pit crew, and they called them the over-the-belt gang because you guys have big bellies. They'd drink beer on Friday night, Saturday night, and then go pit the car. But now you walk up down the pit lane, everyone played college football. Everyone. I mean, guys who played for Nick Saban, guys who played for Dabo Swinney at Clemson. I mean, guys who played at App State, you walk up and down, and it is athletes because they figured out there's a competitive advantage to having athletes. And you guys know, when you're done playing, whether you play college football, pro football, basketball, whatever, you're itching for competition. So it was not hard when they started. They literally would hold open tryouts. They'd have scouts like the NFL draft. They'd have scouts, guys, the trainers for most of these teams. Of course, Coach Gibbs brought his NFL kind of business model with him to racing. And they would have talent scouts to go out and watch small college football games and in the highest level and say, you're probably not going to play in the NFL, but if you just want to stay in sports, why don't you come try to be a tire changer? And so it's had a huge effect. But it also, again, the fat guys on pit lane are gone. I walk down there now, and it's like, it's like I'm on the sideline.
Away with the fat guys. You know what they say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you like NASCAR, good chance you probably like country music as well. And you were at CMA Fest recently. So I wanted to ask you about some of the country artists that you've met, and who's your favorite, maybe just someone that you've interacted with, you got just a great experience with.
So it was funny because there's kind of this line, right? I mean, I love country music, but I don't listen to a lot of new stuff. I listen to the new stuff of the old guys, George Strait and all that. But Luke Bryan came in to talk to us, and Marty and I both know Luke through NASCAR stuff, and that guy's the best, man. He is. If you ever watch American Idol, that's exactly who he is. That's just who he is. That's just who he's going to be. But talking to War and Treaty, the couple that is kind of changing. I mean, literally changing the face of country music right now. And they were about to walk out there to a sellout crowd at Nissan Stadium. But then we had the young ones come in, and Dasha and like Breland, they were awesome. But the way that they became country music stars and got country music deals was like through TikTok.
Yep.
And then, we're talking to Thomas Rhett, who was old school, got on the bus, went to Nashville with his guitar, grinded it out, wrote songs, and became a star. It was interesting. It's kind of like, football. The way that you did it 20 years ago is not the way you do it now. The way you work out, the way you're scouted, the way you're drafted, the way you're signed. And so it was really interesting to talk to the young people. But so Luke Bryan tells us this story. Tim Tebow has this Heisman Trophy, and Tim does this amazing thing where you can, at this big charity auction at Tim's, you can keep Tim's trophy for like 6 months. Just do whatever you want with it. But all the money goes to Tim's foundation. And so Luke Bryan paid a big amount of money and had Tim's Heisman with him. And a Major League Baseball player who shall remain nameless, his last name is LaRoche, he was staying with Luke and saw the massive box, like this big shipping container that the Heisman comes in. And apparently LaRoche has this habit of doodling on stuff, like with a Sharpie. And he likes to draw anatomical parts on stuff. Like you see, and apparently he covered the box that Tim Tebow's Heisman came in with this doodle. Yeah. It's Tim Tebow. And so then he goes out. But Luke just tells this story just like whatever, like any old story. But he's the best, man. And Marty and I shot a commercial a couple years with Luke Combs, who wasn't on our CMA special, but that guy, I mean, he's a North Carolinian like me. He went to App State, was a bouncer at the door at this country music club there in Boone. And it's just cool to meet these guys. It's like an out-of-body experience.
First of all, to meet a bouncer at a country music club, he know how to put them dukes up. My favorite guy that I got to meet was Willie Nelson at a rodeo in Mississippi. Now y'all know how that went. Now, but I just thought Willie was salt of the earth, because as a person that has made it to the pinnacle of the job that I want to be, I made sure I kept my feet on the ground. Like, he showed me that at an early age, no matter how much you succeed and how much you do, you still got to be a real person. And Willie Nelson, I give props to Willie Nelson all the time.
Yeah, it's the biggest compliment. Yeah, biggest compliment you can give anyone is when I worked at ESPN my whole life. Bob Lee, the legendary broadcaster, he used to talk about red light fever and how being famous will change a person. Being on TV will change a person. That red light that comes on the camera when you're on TV. And the biggest compliment I can give an athlete, an actor, a musician, someone in my business is, are you the same person now that you were before anybody knew who you were? And Willie, I get the sincere. Willie has money and Willie's famous, but I get the sincere impression that Willie is exactly now like he was, when he was writing Crazy for Patsy Cline in the '60s. He's just a dude.
Yeah, just a dude's dude. That's what I like to call him.
Ron, one thing I love about your body of work is that you touch on a lot of different things. You know about wrestling as well. And every now and then in football, we'll see, could be a sprinter, could be a wrestler. We'll see someone cross over and see if that athleticism translates.
Yeah.
Like right now, we have Gable Steveson, who is an Olympic gold medalist. was a champion wrestler, I believe, at Minnesota, and here he is trying out for the Buffalo Bills right now. You experienced that with Brock Lesnar, Minnesota.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
What are the realistic possibilities, and why doesn't that athleticism always translate?
Well, it's funny because it doesn't translate like going from wrestling to football, but the history of wrestling is just a bunch of football players. I mean, I'm a four horseman guy, right? I mean, I'm old school, 80s. I just saw Arn Anderson, former mayor of Knoxville. I just saw Arn Anderson at a comic book convention a couple weeks ago, Father's Day. Took a picture with him and everything. But they play college football. His sons play college football. They were wrestlers, and a lot of the four horsemen, they all played football. I think at Texas State, like for the Bobcats. So there's all this. They're talking about Minnesota. Ric Flair, that's where he's from. So there's always, it always works the other way. I don't know, but I know, I can't imagine. Smoot, what was it like in the locker room though? Just cornering these guys, getting stories, right?
No. Brock was a star when he made it to the team already. Like, he was one of these guys that was super established. So as much as people loved us because we was NFL people was coming to training camp to see Brock Lesnar. Like, Brock Lesnar, the wrestler. And it was so funny. I'll never forget. We're doing drills, right? We're doing DB drills and D-line drills, and I look down at the D-line, and I see him just wrestling. Like, he's not coming off the ball. He's not making football moves. He's wrestling. And so we started talking around the locker room, what do we think the reason why he's not acclimating as fast? And I said, because it's a difference between when you're a weightlifter and a power lifter. I think wrestlers are power lifters, and in that power, you stiffen your muscles. In football, you need to have some flexibility, no matter if you're playing offensive line, defensive line, tackle, no matter what you're doing, you need to have some bend. And what I seen with him is he couldn't bend in certain situations because he was so stiff. But the superstar, he still had the star power.
Oh, yeah. The sport where they literally, all they do is teach you holds. And now you got to go be in a sport where you can't. The one thing you can't do is hold, right? But I remember years ago, one of my favorite stories I wrote was I went down to Jamaica and spent time with Usain Bolt, and this is when he was at the height of his powers, fastest man in the world, and he was asking me questions about football. He goes, "Man, I got these American football people calling me," and I'm like, "I'd love to see you run some routes, right? I mean, just try it, right? I mean, I know." I went to Tennessee. I told him about Willie Gault. I go, Willie's deal, he just outran everybody. I said, I like your chances of getting open. I just don't know if you can catch. So I love it when guys try to make crossover moves. Why not, right? I mean, why not?
Well, you know what? The one thing I can say about track guys when it comes to football, to play wide receiver is just not the ability to run fast. It's the ability to stop, and that's where they're not good at. They don't have the ability to stop right there, and I think that's what bends them to their wheel. And by the way, since you like guys that cross over sports, I'm thinking about going pro in bowling. What you think about that? Is bowling ready for me?
No, bowling could use you. So do it. I'm all for it. Yeah, I'll tell you a track story. So my dad was a college football official forever. He was a downfield official. He was downfield with you, Smoot. He was a field judge, side judge, back judge, and he had a game at West Virginia. And Dad always prided himself on getting to the goal line, even before the fast guys, because he's got a 20-yard head start. Yep. And Dad was always quick, but Dad had a game in West Virginia where guy received a punt and took off, and Dad's backing up, and he's like, "Oh, this guy's going to break one." And before Dad could get turned around, he said the guy went past him like a Ferrari. And
it wasn't Tavon Austin, was it? Was it Tavon?
It was James Jett.
All right.
So my dad goes to the coaching staff at West Virginia and went, "Who the hell was that guy?" And they go, "That guy just won a medal in the 4x100 of the Barcelona Olympics." That was like, okay, I don't feel quite as bad about getting beat to the goal line. Yeah.
I totally understand. I'm with Pops right there. Continue to do it.
He's Ryan McGee. You see him on Marty and McGee on the SEC Network, also senior writer for ESPN. Ryan, we really appreciate the time, and I know you're in Omaha at the College World Series, so good luck to your Vols tonight.
Hey, I appreciate it, and if you ever get a chance, come out here. I love this event so much, even if your team's not here. Mississippi State's here a lot, so Smoot, I expect to see you out. Texas is too, right? I mean, it is two legendary programs, but tonight, A&M and Tennessee, Neither one of them ever won the College World Series. So somebody is going to be a first-time champion. So it'll be fun.
And I love championships. It's just SEC on SEC. They just show our dominance. Like I tell people, like I was in the barbershop the other day. They were like, "Why is it always we? And why it ain't just Mississippi State?" I said, first of all, we don't rock like that. It's us against the world, baby. SEC or nothing.
Yeah. Well, I told somebody in the hotel earlier. They said, "Is this good for the sport to have an all SEC final?" I don't know. I said, "It's good for Marty and McGee." So,
it's good for the SEC, so it's good for me.
That's right. All right. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for coming on.
Before we move on, and we're going to talk Southernisms.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that's coming up. We got to tell you about SeatGeek.
Yeah, please do.
We love SeatGeek.
Yeah, we do.
It is official. They are the official ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. The deal is finalized. They are the newest member of the family here in Ashburn. If you haven't heard the name yet, you get used to it. Memorize it. Love it. Because whether you're selling or buying tickets to any event in the DMV, could be Commanders games as well, SeatGeek is the place to do it. The new official ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. So Commanders fans can fan.
Yes, I like. We probably could change that to the end for Commanders fan can command.
Oh.
And fan.
And fan. So, Ryan.
Yes.
Tennessee Volunteer.
Yes.
You're a Mississippi State Bulldog. I'm a Texas Longhorn. We're all from the South. So, before we wrap things up, Anna has put Southernisms on pieces of paper here. So, we're going to open them up and read them, and we're going to discuss if we've heard them or not.
And I want to know if we're going to validate them.
Yes.
Yes, because, just because you Google something don't mean it's true, man.
She used the Google machine.
Yes, because she's young. That's what they do.
Yes.
We could have just called our parents or talked to each other and been like, hey, this is what we say. Or this is what we don't say. What you got?
All right. You tell me if this is legit or not.
All right.
Cattywampus? When something is slightly askew or going in the wrong direction. I have not heard cattywampus.
Is that from Oregon? Because that's not Southern.
I've never heard that.
My mom has never came out the door and say, cattywampus to the store.
Anna? 0 for 1.
Yeah, that would say that's totally not the South right there. I'm sorry. Y'all blame us for a lot. That won't be one of them. All right. You can make a silk purse out of a sole ear. Meaning you can make some pretty out of some ugly. No, that's not Southern.
I haven't heard that. I've heard it, but I've heard it on the internet. I've never
heard it used.
Yes,
yeah, I'm sorry.
Exactly. No.
Anna, 0 for 2.
0 for.
Yes.
Come on, Anna.
Do you know a Southern?
What are we doing here?
That's what we had to ask. This is the name of the game. Do you know a Southern?
Right.
Yeah. What you got?
If you ask someone if they know the word cattywampus, you may not know a Southerner.
Yeah,
Come on, Anna.
Cattywampus.
Okay. He could eat corn through a picket fence.
I've heard that one.
I've heard that one.
That just means he got a big old mouth.
Yep.
I've heard
Gaps in
that
the
one.
teeth?
Yeah. Hey, that dude right there.
Okay. All right. I like that.
He look like his daddy. That's what they say down south. You know when they want to say you ugly down south, they say you look like your daddy.
Yeah. I got it. Look like your dad.
Okay. If this ain't just the most Dolly Parton right here. Well, butter my backside and call me a biscuit.
I have heard, well, butter my biscuits.
That's what
I have heard that, yes.
Yes, but butter my backside and call me a biscuit?
I just heard, well, butter my biscuits.
I'm going to say, I thought it was shorter than that.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll give you a half a point, Anna, for that one.
Sack fly.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
You brought a run in.
Yeah,
okay. There you go. I like how we're blaming Anna for all
Do you
this.
know a Southerner? Name of this game.
Heavens to Betsy.
Now, yes, most definitely. Yes. Do we know what that means? Did it have a meaning?
No.
I still don't know what it means.
After all this time, I have no clue.
Yeah, I have no clue. This is not Southern.
Okay.
All right.
Like before you even read it.
Highfalutin?
Highfalutin.
Highfalutin.
I've heard highfalutin.
Tell me what highfalutin means.
It means uppity. Oh,
pretentious.
Yes, uppity.
So, if we drive past
you think
somebody,
you're better than me. You're so highfalutin. Yep.
I don't think somebody was like, that Fred Smoot?
Highfalutin.
No, I don't know. If you say it's South, is it Texas more?
I have heard highfalutin before.
All right, well, we'll get Anna that.
Right.
We get Anna that.
Okay, here we go.
Highfalutin.
Anna's on a run now.
Hey, listen.
Making a run.
I am highfalutin.
Oh, yes. Over yonder.
Over yonder.
That's definitely over yonder. Yeah.
You learn that as your third word. Mama, daddy, yonder. Yeah. Now, as a Southerner, do we know the mathematical measurements of a yonder? Is a yonder like 100 yards? Or is a yonder varies?
That's like out in the sticks.
Yeah.
How far is out in the sticks?
Outside the city?
Yeah, outside the city is out in the sticks.
That's
but over yonder, what is that?
I don't know the mathematical measurements for a yonder. Like, because I've never heard nobody say, you know what, I think it's like 10 yonders down there. They just say over yonder.
Yeah, that's true.
That could be miles. Like, where the store at? Over yonder.
How many feet are in a yonder?
We need to ask that question to some Southerners. We do. A yonder. All right. This one right here is so great. Grandmamas use it at a high level.
Okay.
Bless your heart.
Oh, because you can use it one of two ways. It can be bless your heart or bless your heart.
Well,
you know, like the whole, like I'm talking down to you like, well, good luck, bless your heart.
My grandmama, because she didn't hold Mama Smoot, Grandmama Smoot didn't hold her mouth now. So if she would we know these things exist. Nobody want to talk about it.
Yes.
But my grandma would see like an ugly little child and be like, bless their heart. You done seen that one.
Yes.
You done seen that one, Jinx.
My girlfriend and her mom, they're both from South Carolina, right?
Yeah,
So they're Southern as well. And instead of bless your heart, they just shorten. They'll go, like if they see an ugly baby, they'll go, bless. I'm like,
hey, listen.
They don't even finish it.
My grandma would be like, bless his heart. I hope he get a good job.
Bless. I'm like, that's even worse. You won't even finish the phrase.
You up, G?
All right. Woo. Wait. Oh, yeah. Piddling.
Fiddling.
Piddling. You're just piddling. Wasting time.
Yeah, all right. I got piddling.
You piddling
but
around?
See, I thought you were finna say finna.
Oh, no. Oh, finna.
Finna. I'm finna.
Yeah.
And I'm fixing to.
Fixing to.
Now, the question is, how do they vary? Is fixing to? Because if your mom be like, hey, make that bed up.
I'm fixing to.
Thank you. You won't say I'm finna.
No, you say I'm fixing to.
Yeah, but if you go into the store, what you about to do?
Finna go to the store.
All right. Listen.
Oh, you can only use that phrase with certain things that you're doing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the words have different things to them. That's what I make.
All right, this is the last one, man. I think it's you. Is it you or me? I'm losing track here.
Let's see.
All right, last one.
This is a good one.
Okay.
This doesn't make a hill of beans.
Oh, I know that one.
Something just worthless.
Yeah, worthless. Not a hill. You can't even make a hill of, not worth a hill of beans.
My high school coach told me that.
Is that right?
I remember I came ninth grade. I was like 100 pounds. I was like 5'6".
Okay.
I'm fixing to be the best player you ever coach. That don't make a hill of beans. That don't make a hill of beans.
I love high school coaches, man. They come up with the craziest things.
But high school coaches are very honest.
Oh, yes.
On how they feel now. Now, I got some too.
Okay.
I had to look on the internet to see what they had.
Okay.
They had the over young. They had the spitting image of.
Spitting image? Yeah.
Spitting image of?
Spitting image of? He's a spitting image of his daddy.
He's supposed to look like his daddy. Like, I don't know why people are so
ugly.
shocked. Yeah.
Like you were saying.
Yeah, like his daddy cute now. He don't look like his daddy. What do you call a Coca-Cola or Pepsi down south?
When I was growing up, everything was a Coke.
Even like a Sprite?
Yeah. Like, I'm going to have a Coke. And then as I got older, I'm like, wait a second. People actually say, I'm going to have a Sprite or I'm going to have a Dr. Pepper, I'm going to have a Pepsi. But it just used to be, I'm going to have a Coke.
Down south, in Mississippi, we used to say pop.
Oh, you said pop? Okay.
We ain't say soda, pop.
Some people say soda or pop.
Our pop, we say pop.
Oh, that means we got to sign up. We got to sign up. We're hot.
We hot.
That's it. They're cutting us off.
We got to get over yonder.
Oh, we set them off. We're fixing to close this out. We finna close this out.
Because it got loud.